Katie, and I'm here today to talk about the full moon in Libra, which is happening around the time I'm actually talking about this on Sunday. So, for those of you that I've known for a while, I'm sure you've noticed that things have changed. I've upgraded, so instead of doing astrology videos on Instagram Live, I will be putting them on YouTube now because I've gotten a camera. And this is one of the improvements I'm making, and I'm also making a lot of changes with other things in my life, but astrology and the videos I make about it is one of the areas of my life that is getting an upgrade. And for those of you that may be new, because now that I'm putting these videos a little bit more out in the world, welcome. I have been practicing astrology for quite a few years now, but I have kept a lot of my posting to Instagram and Facebook with a smaller group of people that mostly consist of my clients. So I have enjoyed that small group, and it may mostly stay that way, but there is potential for my astrology videos to reach more people now. So it's all very exciting. So the full moon in Libra. So the moon is in Libra, but the sun is in Aries. So we're really talking about two energies here, the Libra and the Aries energy. And I will talk about this full moon to start kind of with a general energy about it that I notice crops up pretty much every time we have a full moon in Libra. So we do have a full moon in Libra every year around this time. And the energy around it is always different, but there are some general themes, especially around relationships, because Libra is a sign of one-on-one relationships and partnerships. So a lot of relationship stuff comes up during this time, and because it is a full moon, it is a time of release. So whether it's old relationship cycles or patterns within a current relationship, whether you really do actually need to end a relationship of some sort, and this is your another big push to do so, or whether it's to release someone you have ended things with or isn't really in your life anymore, but they're still hanging out in your life a bit too much. You might need to finally release them, or if there's just people from the past that are lurking that aren't serving you guys good, you may have to release them. And finally, any internal issues from past relationships. So it might not be in your physical reality, it might be internally. You might need to release that too. So a lot of relationship stuff. Definitely romantic relationships are always highlighted with this energy, but it can be any type of one-on-one relationship. It could be, somebody you've worked with or work with, a friendship, a family member, really anything. So yeah, so if you're in the first camp and you need to release some cycles or issues within a current relationship in order to find more balance and harmony and compromise, which is the Libra energy, this may come up for you. You may really recognize some patterns. There might be, because of the full moon, there might be a conflict or opposition that causes awareness for this. Libra is a communicative sign, it is an air sign, so there might be conversations that need to be had. And because we are talking about the Aries energy on the other side of this, Aries is very much the energy of the self and individuality. And so there's this balancing act of compromise and harmony in relationships, but also making sure that who you are is always, accepted and honored and allowed to be. So if part of those cycles is that, you don't feel like that, that might be part of the discussions that you're having, or if you're not compromising enough. So it depends on what end of the spectrum you're on there, but you might be coming to a head with some things in order to figure them out. And then the second camp, if you need to end something with somebody, and again, that doesn't have to be a breakup, it could be a friend breakup or something like that. And this would be, and I'm sure you would be quite certain of it. So if you're having issues, don't jump to this conclusion. You probably just need to sort things out. This is for those where it's a long time coming. So this is probably the rarest camp of people. then yeah, this is giving you an opportunity to finally release that, to see how there wasn't harmony, or to see how, especially if you know that your needs and who you are will never be honored in that situation. I think that definitely would be the biggest push at this time. So it's an opportunity for that. And then, you know, if the people from the past thing, if this was recent, because sometimes this will be a recent thing, like you recently stopped talking to a friend, you recently broke up with someone, but they've not quite left your life, you're still trying to talk to them, or like they're lingering, definitely this is one of those pushes where it's like, you, in order for you to move forward and have new relationships, new people, new beginnings, you really gotta let them go. Or, you know, if it's someone from the past is trying to talk to you, they may come up right now because of these old relationship cycles, especially internally, that need to end. And so they might come up because they were part of that cycle, and kind of in order to let go of that cycle, you need to like also let go of them. So there could be that. And, you know, you need to get rid of someone once and for all. And also, you know, it could just be internal issues that come up for release. You might get triggered about something that really is from a past relationship or cycle, and you need to let it go. And also, you know, because there's a lot of like the actual physical energy here with actually like letting people go. If you have any people left in your life that you don't necessarily talk to, but they're like still very attached to you, or very like obsessing over you, maybe not even obsessive, but like constantly look at what you're doing in your life, and it's not just like a harmless thing, like you kind of know that energy isn't good, or they're focusing too much on you and it really is something, a relationship from the past that doesn't belong in your present or future, then you might need to let that go too, because I've noticed that's a big theme. And you know, we live in the modern era, we live in the age of social media, and because of that, we can easily keep people in our lives without talking to them. But they constantly look at us, they're obsessed over us, and there's always, everything's energy, so then their energy is kind of corded into us and kind of drains from us, or kind of prevents us from moving forward, even if they don't mean that. You know, of course, there might be people with negative intentions, but I'm sure a lot of this would not be. So it's just kind of a big clear out, you know, issues you're having, internal wounds from the past, people that you're still talking to and shouldn't, you know, people that are lingering in the background in a way that's harder to notice that shouldn't. It's just like a clear out of all these energies and cycles and relationship patterns and people that are preventing us from moving forward. Because it is Aries season, and that is the season of new beginnings, you know. So we've already been in the season of new beginnings, but there's going to be like just a huge, completely new slate once we have the Aries new moon. So we're already in the new, and now this is kind of the reminder of like what cycles though with people are keeping you back, or what internal issues that involved other people in the past are holding you back, or what people are kind of blocking you. So that's what's coming up right now in order for us to have all the new beginnings. And on the Aries side of the full moon, we have actually 3 planets that are all conjunct. So we got the sun, and we got Venus, and we got Chiron, and they're all at 8 degrees of Aries, so that's kind of crazy. And definitely with Venus, it is the planet of love, and because it is conjunct the sun in Aries, it is showing there are new beginnings here. There could be new people, there could be new love, there could be a new cycle, but what is keeping you back from being able to have that? And Venus in Aries too is very much about self-love, so what's also preventing you from loving yourself or feeling very strong and confident within your own self. That has, you know, and a lot of these issues, they have to do with other people. They're all about, everything we're letting go of is about ties to other people that may be preventing us from new relationships or a better cycle in love, but also it's preventing us from being ourselves. So these are all the things that we kind of need to keep in mind. And with Chiron hanging out on that side, that definitely shows that we are having a new beginning, fresh from wounds from the past, but that also means we're letting go of a lot of wounds. So that adds rather a touchy energy to this full moon. It's not just release. There's some painful little wounds that are being triggered that needs to be let go of for a fresh cycle. And Chiron is an Aries, so the wounds are about ourselves, our identity, our individuality, our ability to be independent, but in relation to other people again. So if you need to have a conversation because you feel prevented from feeling these things about yourself, but you could clear that up, that needs to happen. And if, a lot of wounds, I think, from the past about times when, because of another person, you felt dependent on them and you felt like you couldn't do your own thing, or times when you felt like your individuality or your identity was suppressed and you couldn't be you. These are all the types of things that are coming up and being triggered to release and for healing, because moving forward, with all this wonderful Aries energy, we need to feel like we can completely be ourselves, that we can do what we want to do in an independent manner while we have other lovely people in our life supporting us. But yeah, we're not needy, we're not dependent, we're not being suppressed by another, we're not being told who we are is not okay, we're not feeling like we need to dim our light or feel prevented from being ourselves or doing what we want in any way. So it's very powerful. There's a lot of healing, and we're really going to be able to move forward and really be strong in ourselves and have lovely people around us and healthier relationship cycles. But there's so much to be released right now. And and like I said, like full moons always feel emotional and like a release, but this one with Chiron, it feels touchy. There's a lot of triggers with Chiron involved. There's a lot of those wounds. It's very sensitive, but it's for a reason. And and if you have people in your life, again, that's where the past people come up. Like if you have people in your life and they're connected to those cycles, that's particularly a very good reason, to let them go or not let them look at you or kind of attach into that energy, because they may have been part or even a person that made you feel like you couldn't have those things or be yourself, or something like that. So that's really important. And and with Venus conjunct the Sun, again, there's potential for new relationship beginnings, new beginnings with feeling really good about yourself and self-love. It's also wonderful for creativity. So this also might be about releasing issues from the past where you felt like you couldn't fully creatively express yourself, be yourself, and all of those things, or feel independent enough to pursue creative things or a life that you would want. So because it's conjunct the Sun, it means we're about to have that. We can't have that just because it's also conjunct Chiron. We need to let go of all the issues involving other people where we felt like we couldn't do that. So yeah, again, it's really beautiful after the fact, after the healing. And Venus also has to do with finances and abundance. And so this would be like abundance that you make because it's Aries energy, that that you felt like you made by yourself, or that you feel a sense of independence about, like you can take care of things on your own, or doing exactly what you want to do. You were able to make to make your finances okay, to make money doing what you want to do. That's kind of the financial issues that Venus and Aries would bring up. So also this is trying to help us get to that place of feeling really good, like feeling like when we do what we love to do, we can make money, feeling like we have enough money of our own, that we feel independent, strong in that way. But again, there might be issues to clear up. There might be wounds about that where we felt like we couldn't do that. People told us, oh, you can't make money doing what you want to do, or we were really dependent on another's money and it made us feel inhibited, perhaps, or any of those types of things. So those are more things to release, and what we're stepping into is, feeling strong about money, feeling confident in ourselves, being able to creatively express who we are, making money what we want to do. Moving forward as a healed individual, not feeling like anyone's going to take that away. So it's a lot of positive stuff, especially around our own selves, but it can be with relationships too. But that would be if it was one that is supporting of who you are. and you're allowed to be all those things within it. And it's funny, a lot of the issues we're letting go of, while they very much might be about identity and ability to creatively express and make money and very self-oriented things. Because it's the Libra full moon, it has to do with other people. A lot of the things we're releasing are when other people made us feel like we couldn't do that, or we felt like we couldn't be with other people, or like both, you know, feeling like we couldn't have a relationship and be ourselves and feel independent. So it's just a balancing act. It's a release, and then it's being able to find that balance where you can have both, you know. So this is important. I say this is kind of a big one for people, and I think it's going to be really positive and help people really be able to step into some great things. But it's touchy in the process because it's not just a full moon, it's Chiron, you know. And I have noticed, I don't know if any of you feel like it, but definitely leading up to a full moon, I think is the most intense. I don't know if other people feel it more in the lead up, the actual day, which is today, Sunday, or like right after. It would make the most sense for it to be before or at the time. I would think afterwards you're starting to get the gist of it, but you know. So I'm curious if anyone is feeling like it was really intense leading up to it, because it certainly feels like it. This one feels particularly intense, particularly emotional, a lot of tension and frustration even, and like I said, a lot of those triggers maybe. And I think for some people with the Libra energy, it's just leading to conversations that need to be had maybe, or like a mental shift. But some people, because of the Aries side, a lot of these things being brought up might make you kind of angry. You know, Aries is the energy that is ruled by Mars, which is the planet that shows how we get angry. So therefore, you know, there might be a lot of frustration, anger that comes up about the times when you felt like you couldn't do those things towards the people that made you feel like that. And yeah, there might even just be conflicts that kind of lead to that, to a head in order to figure out all these things. So, you know, I'm not saying stay there, but it might be kind of what sets it off. You need to like realize there needs to be a change or a conversation, because there might be a conflict or some anger, because you're not feeling like things are completely as they should be, or yeah, it might be really at the past. And so it might be kind of intense, like you're not just letting go of it, or like crying, like as a form of release came in the past. You might be kind of mad about it, like, gosh, I never want to do that again, you know, like I can't believe I did that, like no one's ever going to do that to me again. That's a great sentiment. You never want to be in a situation again where you can't be yourself, or, you know, be who you are fully and feel independent, all those things. But yeah, what might need to release actually might be some anger around it. And it might be kind of frustrating and very touchy at time. But now that we've reached the actual full moon as I'm talking, some of that might calm down. But yes, very intense though. And then the last aspect around the full moon I want to talk about is that Uranus is kind of making a little aspect to the full moon, because it's also at 8 degrees. So that's the degree of the whole full moon that Venus and Chiron are also at with the sun. But then Uranus is 8 degrees Taurus. So Taurus is the neighboring sign to Aries. And that's rather a minor aspect called the semi-sextile. It's like they're neighbors, they're at the same degree, they're like holding hands, but it's not like a major change or anything. And so it's still there though, and it's still positive. And so Uranus in Taurus is about change. Uranus is about radical change. And in Taurus, it's about changing up, like shaking us up from old foundations, shaking us up from stagnation, and all of that, because Taurus is very earthy, very much about our foundations, and it can get kind of stagnant. So Uranus is shaking all this up. And so the full moon being like in this little minor aspect with it, where it's kind of like holding hands with Uranus, shows that all these things we're going through, these relationship things, are balancing out and ending and purging, and this independence we're stepping into, and this ability to be ourselves and have relationships that support that and compromise with that. that is helping this overall bigger picture of breaking free from old foundations and breaking free from old stagnation. So it's really helping on another level to release stagnation in our lives and really break free out of the box. You know, that's what Uranus is all about. So there's a bigger change here that's at play, or that this full moon is playing into, and it's kind of subtle, but it's worth mentioning. And then that's all the energy around the like actual full moon. But I do want to mention a couple aspects Mars is making around the same time, just to show you a bit of a bigger picture of what's going on, because that energy is really powerful. So Mars is in Gemini, and this past week it was conjunct the North Node, and it was also trine Saturn. These are some big aspects here. So the trine to Saturn. So Saturn is in Aquarius, and you know, that has been a big part of 2021 so far, and will continue to be this Aquarius energy. And so Saturn in Aquarius is about building new structures and kind of a whole new world, unlike anything we've seen, one that's more free, more equal, and a lot of really nice things. So as we're building these new structures in our lives, it feels totally unlike what we're used to. Mars is over here helping us with the action in order to do that, helping us with the ideas, because Mars is in Gemini, so they're helping us have ideas on how to do that, how to build these new awesome structures in our life that are unlike anything we've ever done. And so yeah, so that's a really helpful energy that shows we're moving forward with that, we're having the ideas, and the paths open up as well, because Mars and Gemini it shows us multiple paths. Sometimes the energy is like pick one thing and stick to it. Mars and Gemini, and also the North Node Gemini, is about being open to multiple things, multiple ideas, explore different avenues, don't limit yourself, don't pick just one direction. And yeah, so Mars conjunct the North Node. The North Node is kind of the direction we need to be moving in. It's like, yeah, the right path that's kind of like our destiny at this time, or like our fate, or I don't know, those might be rather dramatic words, but that's kind of true. It's the right path right now that will lead to the most growth and the most happiness is the North Node Gemini, so that's what it's highlighting. So Mars being there shows, you know, there's a lot of action being put towards this right path, you know, and these structures. So see, then we bring in Saturn, and it's like there's a lot of energy put towards building this new world, these new structures, going down the right path of our destiny, of our fate, whatever that is for us at this moment. And it does involve with Gemini lots of ideas, taking action on those ideas with Mars, you know, exploring different avenues and being open to it all, being open-minded, letting yourself explore, letting yourself do these things you want to be doing. So that's good. So I'm just seeing, and you know, Aries season and all these Aries planets is ruled by Mars, because Mars is the planet that rules Aries. So if we want to go a little deeper, we're like, what energy overall is ruling the Aries energy? Well, it's Mars in Gemini. So in this time of new beginnings, in this time of taking action, we're being ruled by Mars in Gemini. So it's giving us lots of ideas for action, and it's giving us multiple paths. And I don't know about multiple paths, well, kind of like multiple avenues of exploration instead of being very limited. We're really being opened up to some new things and various things, and that's kind of a fun energy to like be like kind of lording over Aries season overall. So yeah, so you know, overall in Aries season, since Mars is making these big aspects, these new beginnings are really big. They're about a new world, new structures, and moving along like our path of destiny and where we're meant to go next. So that's all very exciting, and I like the energy. So a lot going on actually. I feel like the energy is big, really big, exciting things, really big movement forward. But this full moon is quite intense because there is a lot of things to let go of, and it will really open things up and make things better. But you know, it may have been quite a week for you. It might be difficult right now, you know, a lot of emotions, a lot of triggers, anger, conversations, needing to release. And it may have been kind of exhausting and tense. I definitely personally feel like tension just in the air, and you know, releasing things myself. So I get it if you're feeling that way, you know. It affects all of us. I'm just the messenger. But yeah, but overall it is exciting and a good thing, and I'm excited that I was able to finally upgrade these videos and talk to a camera instead of my kind of crappy Instagram live videos. So in terms of these videos, for those of you that have been following me that do usually watch me, I will be keeping kind of the same format where I mostly do these twice a month, sometimes more. So you can always expect a video for the new moon and the full moon. And then in terms of like a third video, that would be if there's like a retrograde or something big, then I would feel compelled to make a video about that. So I'm keeping it like that for now because I do have a lot of other projects in my life, non-astrology related. So that might just be the proper amount for now. But if this is popular, I'm really liking it, and I do feel like I could do it more, that one might happen in the future. So we'll see. Regardless, thank you for joining me today. And I hope you'll have a wonderful full moon, that everything works out for you and that it puts you on the right path and that it wasn't too intense. So I'll see you all soon. Bye.